So you know the dude that was shot the other day, right? They are saying that he assaulted the officers and that he drew his weapon at them. I'm not even joking. It's on the news. They're trying to make it seem like he drew his gun at an ICE officer and assaulted them. We are not mad enough. We are not mad enough. We are not mad enough.
A lot of people think that African Americans are asleep at the wheel when it comes to ICE. And it's like, no, it's just that we've always been fighting against this. So it's like, it's not brand spanking new news for us. It's like the police have been killing us since like the end of Reconstruction, you know, like the police have been targeting us, attacking us through Jim Crow, civil rights movement, into the current movement that we're in right now. It's always just been a constant thing. And I think it's like white people are just starting to realize that this stuff like kind of affects them, like the overreaching of the government and the overreaching of the police and things of that nature. It's starting to affect them. So now they're all just like, oh my God. But it's just like, okay, it's Tuesday. Like for a black person, I'm like, yeah, the police and the government are always overreaching. The police and the government are always doing things that are wrong for the people. So it's not brand news to us.
Hello, wonderful people. How are you? I hope you're okay. You are welcome to my channel. My name is Jane. I am watching a lot of white Americans discover something black people have been screaming about for generations, and I'm supposed to clap, empathize, and mobilize like this is brand new information. Police brutality, state violence, unaccountable law enforcement, federal agents acting like occupying forces. Well, welcome, white people. You are late. And what is wild is not just that you are realizing it, it is how you are realizing it and what you are still expecting after the realization. Black communities didn't wake up yesterday and decide that policing was a problem. From slave patrols to Jim Crow sheriffs to modern policing, this system was never neutral for Black Americans. It was never designed to protect Black Americans, and when they said that, they were called dramatic, angry, and anti police, even ungrateful and divisive. They were told to just comply, that it is a few bad apples, that they are exaggerating, that they should stop playing the race card. Now, federal agents are killing people in broad daylight, white people, even with cameras rolling. Excuses ready, and suddenly it is shock. Suddenly it is fear, suddenly it is how could this happen in America? Black people are looking around like, yeah, that is what we have been telling you guys. A lot of white people are at the awareness stage, but they are still waiting for black people to do the action stage. They are horrified, they are posting, they are shocked, but then they look around and they ask, why are there not bigger crowds protesting for us? Why aren't people marching? Why isn't there any more outrage? Why don't I see black people marching for us? And black people are saying, because we are tired of always being the engine. We have marched, we have organized, we have lost jobs, we have lost lives, and we have lost our leaders. And every single time, we were told that we are overreacting until the violence crossed a line. Now, this is the part that needs to be said plainly. You do not get to discover injustice and then outsource the resistance to the people who have been bleeding under it longest. Black folks are not the default protest force. They are not the emotional support movement. They are not the shock absorbers for everybody who is experiencing political awakening. If you're mad now, be mad enough to protest for your people. If you are scared now, be scared enough to organize. If you finally seen it, do not wait for us to validate it with our bodies in the street. Do not wait for black people to validate it with their bodies in the street. Because that is what is really happening right now. White Americans want black people to go out and march for them. They want black anger to reactivate so that they can feel justified joining in. No, this is not the time. This time It is time for white people to lead the protest. And black people are tired. They're not going to do anything. They're going to sit this one out and wait for white people to do what needs to be done. Anyway, guys, let's see what people are talking about this, and we'll come back and discuss some more.
Forget about just the lack of representation. Why does it feel like our government hates us so much that they're constantly trying to actively hurt us? Not just with ICE, not just with the fucking big beautiful bill and all the shit that they do, not with the Israelification of all of the fucking media and taking over TikTok and saying, oh, actually we own all your shit. And not only are we gonna not pay you for your shit, we're gonna own your shit and then we're gonna sell it to other people and you're not gonna get any money from it. It's like, no, they literally hate us. The government is constantly being like, how can we show them we hate them the most? Our government is literally actively hostile to us. And the thing is too, is that not only are they ruining everything about this app, we're not even gonna be able to see what happens in foreign countries anymore, okay? Not Gaza, not Italy. Apparently there's some amazing protests happening in Italy, can't see it. The shutdown that's happening right now in Minnesota, can't see it. I'm not seeing any of that. All I'm seeing is fucking TikTok shop. And what gets me every time is how little people care. Like how little people, everyday fucking people just walk through life not giving a fuck.
The last time we saw white people in the streets with the same level of hate and rage that we think we should be seeing now is when they were fighting segregation. Somebody had to say it. Argue with your mama. So, do y'all remember how Black Lives Matter protests were being talked about? Not discussed, but talked about. Riots, chaos, violence, animals. They were calling us animals. Every news segment looked like the apocalypse. One trash can on fire and suddenly the whole movement was criminal. It didn't matter that millions of people were marching peacefully. It didn't matter that we were begging for accountability. We were begging these people for accountability. All that mattered was how fast can we shut this shit down. Now, look at how they're covering these No Kings protests and the ICE protests. And be serious for a second, because they out here throwing snowballs. Snowballs. They're laughing, they're bundled up, cosplaying rebellion. Meanwhile, in the same cities, their neighbors are getting slammed into walls, grabbed in front of their kids, kidnapped off the streets. And the coverage, what's that looking like? Emotions are running high, right? The people feel unheard. Concerns about government overreach. Concerns. And that's when it clicks. Black people protest, and the question is, how do we control them? When white people protest, the question is, how do we listen to them? Same streets, same disruption, wildly different tone. Now, back to when we saw white Americans as angry as they should be now. That was rage. That was mobs that we saw. That was screaming at kids walking into schools. That was violence wrapped in concern. And even then, it wasn't framed as extremism. It was framed as fear, as loss, as people struggling with change. Sound familiar? So when I see snowballs getting thrown while families are getting ripped apart, while they're attacking a car with kids inside, a black family's car with a baby inside, I don't think the media suddenly learned nuance. I think the empathy shows up when the protest looks like you. When the anger feels familiar. When the faces feel safe. When the rage doesn't threaten the hierarchy. It just asks for a better seat in it. BLM was treated like a threat to the country. These protests get treated like a disagreement with management. One gets militarized, the other gets moderated. So no, this isn't about peaceful versus violent. This is about permission. Who's allowed to be angry without being criminalized? Who gets grace while others get cuffs? Who can throw snowballs while somebody else gets body slammed into a wall just for existing? And that, white America, that is why people are mad. Not because we don't understand what's happening, but because we understand it perfectly. Stop asking us what to do. Channel your ancestors.
Y'all ain't mad enough. Especially white folks. You know how I know? Because they just killed another unarmed white person in broad daylight. That person wasn't blocking traffic. He wasn't in a vehicle. He wasn't threatening officers. Matter of fact, he was just standing off to the side filming, as he's allowed to do as an American citizen. And not one, not two, but 6 agents walked over to him, beat him, and shot him at least 10 times. Broad daylight. Y'all ain't mad enough. And maybe it's shock. Maybe a lot of y'all are shocked that it got this bad this quickly. Maybe a lot of y'all are shocked that the game y'all played in November turned out like this. Maybe a lot of y'all are shocked that y'all have to fight an enemy that looks like you. Because in this country, y'all have been told historically that only black and brown people are the problem. You only have to look out for black and brown people, and you're finding out the hard way that that couldn't be further from the truth. Maybe y'all don't know how to fight an enemy that looks like you. And I ain't talking about getting violent, because you can't give them that. They want the violence, because if you give them the violence, then that means they don't have to govern. There's a way to fight this. If your elected officials are comfortable, you're not mad enough. If your elected officials keep lying to your fucking faces and won't do a damn thing to protect you, even though that's the job you gave them, you are not mad enough. This revolution will not be convenient. No revolution has ever been convenient for the people that had to start it. You won't be able to hashtag your way out of this. You won't be able to wear a t-shirt every other weekend. You got to be boots to the ground. You ain't getting black people in these streets. Not these streets. We will be easier targets. You should be fighting with your money. If you still giving these corporations your money, you not mad enough. If you still going out to social and sporting events, going about your everyday life, going into work like, oh yeah, just blow over, you ain't mad enough. The only way we fix this is to acknowledge why it's happening. This is happening at the hands of a system that a lot of y'all have benefited from. That doesn't mean that I don't have sympathy for white people that are fighting this. I feel bad for the Renee Goods, and I feel bad for this man that lost his life. I feel bad for their families. I feel bad for any person that is fighting for a better society. But this is a fight that y'all have to fight because it started by a system that y'all helped create and that a lot of y'all have benefited from. Y'all ain't mad enough. And until y'all get mad enough, until y'all figure out the way to fight this and make your voices heard and be willing to be inconvenient, it will get worse. And lastly, to the people out there, I'm talking about all people, all the content creators, a lot of y'all I know that won't say a goddamn thing about any of this, trust and know this. Eventually, it will get to a point to where you won't be able to ignore this. Know that.
Watch this.
You all need to be arming yourselves right now. You all need to learn how to shoot guns. You all need to learn how to protect yourselves. You guys need to learn what to do in a situation where you get detained and how to help your friends when they are getting detained. You all need to become aware of what's happening right now and how there is no protesting this without some sort of militant action.
And I don't just say that white people are not mad enough without data. Because see, history has proven that when white people get mad, shit moves. I mean, things get serious when white people get mad. Mad at the king, start a whole new country in a war. We're so mad about the way we're being treated, we're gonna go over there and we're going to sow disease into the inhabitants of a land that is not ours, and then we're going to call it our own. We're so angry that even though we have no real resources, we don't need resources, because guess what? We're going to go steal bodies from this other land and bring it to this one, so those people who come from a land full of resources will go ahead and build an entire society for us, one that we will rob them of. And when they do dare to be successful after being enslaved, after being legally oppressed, anytime they build something, let's say it's Tulsa, or let's say it is Greenwood, or it is any of the other times that Black people, brown people have taken their resilience and resistance and turned it into something that they could stand on with their own 2 feet. That enraged white folks so much that they built organizations and systems and weapons to kill, destroy. Anytime the people got angry enough and tried to rise up, and they presented leaders like MLK, like Malcolm X. Not only were those leaders assassinated by the anger of whiteness, and see, white anger doesn't even have to look like violence or vitriol. It just simply is violent because it is whiteness. And you're telling me that you people, in all that you can think to do, as this man dismantles and literally demolishes the White House, literally strips you of your free speech. So much so that white people are being fired from their jobs for speaking the truth. And all y'all can do is carry some fucking signs in the street. You're not mad enough because you unalived my people for less.
Guys, when black people die, they are supposed to grieve quietly. When others die, suddenly it becomes a national crisis, and still the burden of resistance somehow circles back to black people. So, yes, some black people are saying, you see it now, then you fight. This is not our cruelty. Black people have been in the front line for centuries. They are now having the consequences of being in the front line. They are having burnout, they are having trauma, they are having cynicism. Okay? So they are done fighting for white people. A lot of people, especially white people, are looking everywhere for solutions. But now, when they look in the mirror for solutions, they are looking everywhere. They are looking at black people, but they are not looking in the mirror. Because when they look at the mirror asks them, where were you when black people said this years ago? Who did you believe? Who did you dismiss? Who did you vote for? And who did you defend? And now that the violence is no longer contained to those communities, okay? The question isn't whether the system is broken, it is whether they are willing to confront the fact that they have benefited from ignoring the system. So, yeah, this time around, white Americans are not mad enough. They are being killed in record numbers and they cannot even stand up and protest. And yes, black people are not gonna do anything. They're gonna fold their hands and watch them. Thank you guys for watching this video. If this is your first time coming across my channel, please do not forget to subscribe, like this video, share it so that people can get in touch with it, and I'll catch you on the next upload. Bye bye.